It don't matter that you got not a lot.
Oh man, you found it. You found it.
Is it different strokes to move the world?
Oh boy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're back on air, but like we do every episode, the brawl starts in 30.
And we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
All right, cut and print. Beautiful, guys. Dynamite. That is.
Oh, welcome to another episode of the broadcast. This is episode 165, titled Into the Streamverse. This is your host and moderator, the People's Champion, aka Shot Biz Ronnie, aka the Final Boss. Joining us today. Yo, I hate you, E. It's my tag team partner, all the IWC, Grizzly Rhodes, aka America Turning Face today as his tagline.
Turning face, we are bringing back TikTok.
Oh boy. And of course, fantasy booking extraordinaire, aka Mr. Respect the Mass Salt Force, aka Kid Ty, joining us. And today our special guest from the Midwest, we got our guys MarksWithMics, we got Dallas Cash here, we got 6'9" JT, members of the MarksWithMics podcast. Fellas, how you guys are doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey man, I appreciate it.
It's a long time coming. like we always do on the pod, we always start the show with a vibe check. Basically just tap it in the base. That's how everybody's been doing. It's been a long week. We all work. So going around the room, how's everybody week doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I can't call, I might spoil it, but pretty good so far.
Respect it. Kid Ty?
I ain't jinxing shit.
What's good, Justin?
I'm all right. I'm good.
How about you, E?
But first of all, I have brought back TikTok to America.
Oh God,
guys! I didn't mean anything when I said that you guys can eat the dogs. I'm trying to turn face. That's what I am. I am a baby face now. All right. News. I don't care. I'm going to enter in the Royal Rumble this year. Vince McMahon, I'm coming for your seat. No, I'm sorry, man. I literally rushed over here to be with y'all, man. We did the MarksWithMics podcast on Thursday. Appreciate you guys having us on there.
Pleasure.
You know, always good vibes amongst great content creators. And with the recent TikTok shutdown, I just want to say something real quick to the people that's getting on the content creator like us. Shut the fuck up. Plain and simple. Because y'all cannot sit here and tell people get a real job and your ass don't even like your job. That's number one. Number two, you the one that's putting pockets in the content creators. You're putting money in the content creators' pockets. Stop it. Look at yourself in the mirror. Get help.
That's a fact. I echo the same sentiments as E because you were both on MarksWithMics this past Thursday. Dope vibes, dope conversations. It was also on Tuesday. On Tuesday I was on Gresh Unleashed with Gresh and Jermaine. We had a ball. Definitely had a good time on that show. Shout out to Gresh, shout out to Jermaine.
Two good brothers, man.
Two good brothers. I finally know Jermaine's actual height now. He ain't 5'10". He damn near JT height.
Yeah, that's my brother from another mother. We actually share the same government name. So from one Jermaine to another, that's a good brother. Shout out to
Jermaine's a good brother, man. Also he got some heat coming up for Black Wrestling, so check that out when it does drop. So let's get into the icebreaker questions that we normally do on this show. Starting with the first icebreaker question of the day. What are your thoughts on the WWE TNA merger? Obviously, this past week to end the wrestling week, WWE announced that WWE and TNA officially have announced a partnership merger between the two companies. This basically, I guess, is their declaration of their open door with another company, openly at least. Considering the fact that WWE and TNA have been basically having they've had a handshake partnership over the last year or so. You've seen guys like Joe Hendry go over, MSK, the members of the Rascals, Jordan Grace as well, crossing over to NXT television. Now it's more broad and more open, so it provides a lot more possibilities of who might cross over on the TNA side and who might jump over on the WWE side. So, fellas, what y'all take on this?
So, two things. One, Michael Cole, you got to deal with Top Dollar again. Just gonna let you know that. Thought you got rid of him. It ain't happening. He's back. He's found his way back into the fold. It's great because we've kind of wanted this to happen for years because pro wrestling has always been about making money. But the spirit of competition should always bring people together because you can either make friends or you can make money. People they want to choose to make money. This is a great way to cross over. A lot of the core audience in WWE will become more familiar with the talent in TNA. We'll see crossover matches, fantasy booked on all of our podcasts previously. And I think it's a great way to introduce new wrestlers to the core audience. Some of them obviously might get that Netflix nod. I know Joe Hendry being on a Raw on Netflix would be incredible. I honestly think this is a great way to bring Joe Hendry out for the Royal Rumble because that crowd needs to see the full entrance. He should be at least number 1 or number 2. That's my take on it. Obviously we'll get dream matches that I had previously talked about before. Honestly, it's good. AEW was doing it with Ring of Honor. WWE is doing it with TNA. Like I said, it's just dream matches all over and a lot of different fantasy booking options and different opportunities for both people.
JT?
I mean, well, goddamn, Dallas, shit, you done said it all, but no, real talk though. This is a great deal. I mean, for a lot of people that has watched TNA in the past, has been a fan of it. This is good. I mean, if you're trying to compete, I don't think that's the right way to go with that type of situation. Them working together is a great way to not only expand the viewership of wrestling, but also like Dallas said, get people connected to the TNA roster, TNA library. But it's a great feeder system as well. You know what I'm saying? Like it can work both ways. It don't have to be a one-way street. You can call some people up from from TNA to NXT and vice versa. Send some people from NXT to TNA or send some of those people to the main roster from TNA. It works out great. The only thing I want to see come out of this whole ordeal, bring AJ Styles back home. I want to hear Get Ready to Fly, and it's actually AJ Styles. That's all I want. Nothing more, nothing less. You can throw some other matches in there, but bring AJ Styles back home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are joined by BK Matt. Matt. I know
What's good?
JT Dallas. This is our guy BK Matt. If you want that unfiltered raw conversation.
Listen, I'm already hip. I called him. I called him last few episodes, man.
Yeah,
that was wild. That was wild. I mean, that's not even a good interruption. See, Stu, you fucking up already.
I'm slightly high, so
basically, what he's saying is I'm the wild and niggery version of this. This show.
Whoa, we in the building. Yeah. You know.
Hey, where you from? Where you from, bro?
Brooklyn.
See, right there.
Yeah,
I knew. I'm like, but
Here we go.
he ain't say it the way I thought he was gonna say it.
Yeah,
So
here
I
we
would
go.
But I know he told somebody where he was from 15 minutes ago before he got on here. So
what's good, GC? We missed you. We missed you last week. We wasn't really live last week, but we back now.
It was an hour. It was an hour ago. Nah, the guy still a little accident. I was mad. I was upset. I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like, how did the ice catch me slipping? Like, I'm from Brooklyn. But then again, I realized I wasn't driving in Brooklyn.
What's good?
It happens. Yeah.
All right, so Matt, we talking about
we talking
about the TNA WWE merger, man. What's your thoughts on that, real quick, dog?
They've been merged.
No, but I'm just saying. You're right, but I'm just saying now, like it's more official. They're basically looking to see if they could bring more of their stars onto WWE and having their stars crossing over.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
All right, say your piece, nigga.
This is the part that I'm talking about. Wild and nigger. We're not gonna act like these motherfuckers haven't been poaching from TNA since Jeff Jarrett was out here fucking Kurt Angle's wife. We ain't gonna act like this is new. This ain't nothing new. We've been new to this. This is not new.
Here we go.
That's how they knew who AJ Styles was. Come on. Ron Truth Killers, now he's R-Truth. Come on, nigga. You was K-Quick. We not doing this, bro.
Happy birthday,
doing this. Man, look, Stu, don't get me pissed off. I'm already pissed off because I got into an accident on a Sunday and my girl left. I'm aggravated right now. It's one of them days. Yeah. I had a great weekend though.
At least you ain't got the 40 in your hand, so we good.
Nah, that's right. Something.
Boy, hey, close enough.
Jamaica.
Wait, who's the pretty Dexter? Who's that?
Come on, gang. Bro, like, I'm not handsome Dexter. Like, what are we talking about?
K-Quick and K-Cross.
Grizz?
Yeah.
That's Grizz?
Yes, Grizz.
Grizz, I have so many questions.
No.
I saw like 3 times.
Hold on, you gotta see his tagline for today. America turning face.
Real shit. Donald Trump is on his biggest Cody Rhodes run. I'm not even gonna hold you. And like when Grizz said, I said, that's what BQE. We on the same time. TikTok got banned for like a week. Them motherfuckers is coming back. They are coming soon, like a Kevin Hart movie. It is ridiculous.
All right. Yo, Ty. Before you ask your question, what is your thoughts on the merger, like official merger of TNA and WWE?
Official merger is funny.
Generally, I agree with the floor, but I got my own like. What's the right word? I got my own. I'm skeptical on certain things. Because every time these type of partnerships happen, everyone thinks about the benefits to the bigger company, right? Like when AEW was doing their whole open door policy, they were talking about, AAA talent. We got talent from TJPW. We got talent from Stardom. We got talent from
AEW.
Matt, not today. I'm
gonna get Matt. You fucking up yourself. Come on, Ty.
Keep it pushing, better. Keep it pushing, Matt.
I'm gonna say, like, the reason why I bring this up is because so far, I'm not gonna say TNA hasn't benefited from it. They had a pretty big gate, I believe, at Bound for Glory, off of the back of a lot of the success that was coming on with their own talent, but also from NXT's help. But I want to see TNA benefit very well, not just from, we're giving you some overstars from NXT, or because recently it's been more of the undercard, right? It's been more of the like aspiring names on NXT. They haven't gotten all of the bigger names they could get access to. I want to see TNA continue to thrive because it's not really like to JT's point. It's weird to do competition that way, but they're not really trying to compete. They're trying to thrive. Like TNA's been on an upswing in terms of management up until they lost Scott D'Amore earlier last year, but they've been turning things around, and this is part of them trying to go up and bring their momentum up. But I want to see NXT stars go to TNA and lose definitively. I want to see TNA look like an equal in this type of partnership, because I feel like if it's just about getting access to TNA talent, then you're basically turning TNA into the fourth brand, and I don't really want that per se. We want
them video collaborate, bro. That's what we want.
I want video live. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you got ad libs, but I want TNA.
My bad.
I want TNA to benefit a good amount from this, more than just, oh, we got some NXT talent. Like, I want TNA to continue pushing their own people. I want them to be able to stand on their own, essentially. Because, yes, it's great to have AJ come back. It's great to have all the different crossovers. It's great to send talent that aren't being used on the main roster and NXT talent over there. But if TNA is just a ring swap and given their talent to NXT to be poached, I don't really like that, especially in the wake of the WWE ID thing, the college ID thing, where like they're getting so many talents as is. I don't want it to be like, oh, eventually, especially when you think about like, what was it? The Evolve partnership or the ICW, a lot of the partnerships in Europe where they were taking a lot of their talent and kind of left them dry. I don't want that to happen to TNA, especially having been a viewer since I was a child. So that's the only other thing I'll offer to that. Really.
I got a question. Wait,
hold on. GC said every NXT star has gone at TNA shows, lost unless it was a tag match. Okay.
I want to know because I don't know where to find it.
Are you gonna have Roxanne Perez lose to Masa Slamovic?
Hell yeah.
Are you gonna have NXT talent of that level lose to the TNA stars? That's what I'm saying. Are you gonna
the titles on the line? Yeah.
If it's gonna be I'm saying if it's gonna be a partnership, I don't want it to be a situation where like Roxanne takes the TNA Women's Championship, and she's flaunting it around on NXT TV, talking about, look at another record I broke. Like, I want someone on the level of Trick Williams to lose to somebody on the level in NXT of
what
TNA.
level is that?
I see you. Hold on, I got you in a second. I got you.
Wait. First pause. But I had a question for you.
You can't tell me pause when you're trapped in a closet right now.
Oh,
First of all, the acoustics in here is crazy.
The acoustics in the closet, you're trapped.
This is where I record. I record my music in here too. What you trying to say?
You not recording?
I'm in the trenches, Ty. Don't do that.
You know what it is. Closet trenches?
Yes.
That's a pretty nice song, though.
Thank you.
Hey man, I'm just saying I want TNA to look good. I don't want them to get little broed. You get what I'm saying? That's the main
Maybe
point.
they can go on Peacock. Pause.
But that's already a thing. I mean, in this situation, they would technically still be the little bro regardless, just by the age gap. But you also got to look at this. Like, yes, this partnership is going to benefit both. We've already seen before where we had TNA stars go there, they lose. NXT stars go there, they lose. It's a liberal situation from the jump. But if we are expecting some type of mega surge of just WWE talent going to TNA, then I think that's something we can expect. But as far as TNA to directly benefit off this, as just gaining I guess you could say that fourth brand status, I think it may lead more towards to that, because TNA is also a part of TKO's streaming platform as well. That's another thing you got to throw into there too. So it's a good all around business acquisition. But I don't really want to use the word little bro, but they have their place in a sense. Far as, okay, we already know we're not WWE level, but
FCW.
If we work with them, FCW is wow.
I'm just saying, man. We're gonna be honest.
But if we work with them, we can achieve getting to that NXT level when NXT was up, because just off the first couple of meetings and having them work together, TNA had an unstoppable sell-out streak. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that today's event just sold out as well.
That's what I'm saying.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I agree with like I said, I agree with the floor. The fact that you brought up old school NXT, right? I think what I'm saying more so than anything is I want TNA the same way that NXT had that respect of like, we're the third brand and we are as quality as anything else, even though we're not on the same level as the main roster in terms of exposure. I would like TNA to get to a similar point or something similar to that, considering the current circumstances. That's what
they're definitely gonna get there. Especially if they work it the right way with this deal, they'll get there. Trust and believe. I mean, you're getting ready to have TNA advertisement on Netflix this coming Monday.
And
if Joe-
also, they're developing, like I said, they're developing their own identity. So you know exactly what you're getting when you come to a TNA show, or if you're watching a TNA show. And let me give you an example of like what I'm talking about, how the merger just basically works out in many different ways. Look at the feud between Wesley and the Rascals, and then the match that Zachary Wentz had with Wesley at NXT No Mercy. Like,
Yes.
he won over a lot of people based on how the match went, and also the finisher, because that UFO finisher basically went viral. If they can do that on Netflix, that's going to bring so many more eyes to the product. But they're developing their own identity. Everybody over there in TNA pretty much stands out on their own. And then when they come to NXT, come to WWE, the crossovers that they've had in the Royal Rumble, like with Mickie James being the Knockouts champion, entering the Royal Rumble not too long ago, it helps bring eyes back to the product. And
It's a 40-man battle royal now, right?
Nah, it's still 30. It's still 30.
I got a
I could
question.
have sworn I got that.
Ty, get your question. We have, and before we have one more, before we move on.
Quick question. Do y'all well for Dallas, but also for the floor, if they bring back Worlds Collide and they do it in like Tampa, or they do it like kind of like at a Universal, kind of to bring it back to an old school TNA type of feel, would y'all be down for that? A Worlds Collide in Florida, like the fight for Florida?
is it going to make money? Yes. Yeah, of
I'll
course.
be down with it if it's in Manhattan Center.
I'd rather Universal because of the vibes.
I like Manhattan Center because of the crowd.
They held it down for Impact for a couple of years, so I can't sit here and say no to that either.
No, I tell you what, put it at Full Sail University, because that's the rumor going around that TNA may be taping out of Full Sail University coming up. And we all remember the glory days of NXT and Full Sail.
Good times, good stuff.
Good times.
Now look at Adam Cole now. Sorry.
Relax.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
Oh, Adam
Sorry,
the third.
Sorry.
All right. Before we move on, is there like any last questions before we head on to the next question?
Yeah.
Are they going on Peacock or is it going to Netflix? I'm lost.
Well, no. So they're still keeping the TNA Plus app.
I don't like that.
They're also internationally on TKO's streaming platform, but I'm not sure. I don't see TNA dissolving the TNA app, because they got a nice base with that. But hey, we seen stranger things. I mean, we never thought in a million years WWE would be on Netflix. So who knows?
I respect it. All right, moving on to our second question. Yo, moving on. Well, what happened? E?
Just skip my fucking opinion. I like the word. God damn, where's my damn opinion at?
You was quiet. I thought you could have intervened anytime.
You was over here moderating and told everybody got a turn. I ain't get shit.
Hey,
that was
hold on. This is like the NBA inside the NBA.
Man.
It's like the inside the NBA moment. It's like it's not 1-2, one back to one.
Oh man! Everybody is crazy.
Eric and Shaq is like, play with me what you want to, Chuck. It's not supposed to be 1-2, one back to one. Not 1-2, one back to one. You big old dummy.
Eric, how you feel about this, man?
How you feel, Eric?
I like it.
He said, "I like it." All right, you know what? Next question. Anyway,
you know what, Eric? You know, Eric. You get the first dibs on this question right here.
I don't feel comfortable calling him Eric. I feel like we're prosecuting him. I don't like this.
All right, man. All right. Anyway, E, how would you book a returning Charlotte Flair in 2025?
You book Charlotte Flair. Okay, now, all right. Look, Charlotte's been out for a good little while now, and there's no secret that Charlotte is one of my favorites. Now, the rumor is going around that she is booked to face Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania in Vegas, obviously for the WWE Women's Championship. Here's the thing. Charlotte Flair, you got to earn it, love. I feel like you got to earn it. I'd love to put you in the championship mix. I would insert Charlotte Flair here. You got to earn it, love. You got to earn it. And I feel like where she should be at, I'd like to see her with that United States Championship.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, hell no.
Why not? Okay.
Listen.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
You're so the issue, well, you could even put her back on Raw because the last person she had a match with was who? Asuka, and she got hurt, or was it Io Sky?
I honestly can't remember. I'm not gonna act like I remember right now because it's been a minute. I've actually although I don't like the fact that she's injured, I've enjoyed the Charlotte vacation from TV to some extent.
Hey, listen, I've enjoyed it too. I agree with you. Sometimes it can be a little overkill. I'd be the first to admit that.
A little.
But okay, a lot overkill. Stop twisting my fucking arm. But anyway,
that's what a wrist lock is, Eric.
Collar and elbow tie up. So I honestly, yeah. I mean, I don't want to see Tiffany Stratton lose this. I feel like if you put this on Tiffany Stratton for a good reason, she's had a great showing with Bayley not too long ago. This past SmackDown, I would honestly have her keep it even after Mania. Even if they do book it for Charlotte Flair to be her opponent at WrestleMania, I don't feel like Charlotte Flair should win.
No.
That's just my personal opinion.
Tag me in, Eric.
That sounds crazy. We're not passport bros, but go ahead.
What? What? Man,
I'm not tag me in. Matt, am I saying something wrong?
This is a wrestling podcast. I said tag me in to the conversation.
That sounds very passport.
Jesus Christ!
That was crazy. That was
I'm gonna just start talking anyway. Fuck it. You know, here's what I'm saying.
Passport bro-ish. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you.
What's good, Vaughn? What's good?
You know, I'm gonna do the opposite because if you watch this show historically, you know me and Eric don't see on Charlotte. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm having Charlotte win the Rumble. Let's do this.
Really?
Charlotte win the Rumble. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, I'm listening.
I am perfectly fine with them doing the era for era mirror match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte because on most of WWE's television, we've had a lot of people from the mid 2010s period of WWE getting these storylines where they're either trying to reprove themselves to the audience or they're having a resurgence in momentum. AJ Styles, before he got hurt, was trying to show that he was still phenomenal after being floundered around with for a couple years. Shinsuke Nakamura is having the best presentation he's had since NXT on television right now, even though he's had to resort to a Muda gimmick. Charlotte dominated the 2010s and for a portion of the early 2020s was still a big factor of the women's division, right? A lot of people have been comparing Tiffany Stratton to people like Charlotte and Trish Stratus for years now, right?
Right.
Charlotte has an ego and historically has come in and stepped on a lot of different people in kayfabe to get back to the championship and the top spot she's been in. You put two of the most athletic women on the roster in a match against each other. Like growing up, we saw the comparisons of people like Dolph Ziggler to Mr. Perfect and John Morrison to Shawn Michaels. For some people, Tiffany Stratton would be that comparison to a Charlotte. Having that match at WrestleMania kind of sells itself just off the fact that they're very similar people with big egos and high complexes. So I'm okay with Charlotte winning the Rumble to do that match because right now there are other women's programs that have other legs to stand on that don't need the Rumble. And as far as how I'd book her going into that, I would have her main focus be Tiffany, but I would actually go a step further and I would have Charlotte have been the person to have taken out Jade.
Good I was thinking that too. I was thinking that along the lines of that too, because I know they wanted to do Charlotte and Jade. That's another big money match.
It's not even just that. You got to think of it from the perspective of what is Charlotte really going to do after if she beats Tiffany, which I do see happening. But let's say whether she wins or lose, that would be a backup storyline for her to have that would carry her through the summer. Because if you think about it, if she doesn't like the fact that Tiffany's at the top, she's not going to like all the competition that's coming either. There are a lot of stars that she hasn't been in the ring with that would pose a threat to her standing. Look at Jade. She hasn't been in the ring really with Bianca yet. Those two haven't touched. And if you have a person like Charlotte take out Jade and cause dissension between the big three, right, and have them thinking about turning on each other, figuring out who really attacked Jade, having the whole roster shook up, Charlotte once again makes herself the whole focus of the SmackDown Women's Division. Then you set up a situation like this. Imagine Charlotte and Bianca are fighting because Bianca realizes, yo, you took out one of my best friends. That's crazy. I'm not going to let that happen. You get Bianca and Charlotte the dream match, and in their first encounter, you have Jade come back and attack Bianca instead of Charlotte. If you have Jade come back and attack Bianca instead of Charlotte, basically saying, where were you when I needed you? You were caught up in other things. You weren't really my best friend if you let me go down like that, which in reality would just be her basically building to a storyline of, I've always been jealous of you and I was going to do this anyway, but this gave me the perfect opportunity. Now you get that dream match with Charlotte and Bianca, but you also properly set up Bianca and Jade, which is what a lot of people wanted to see as well. And with Naomi in between, being torn with the situation and everything, there's a lot of drama there you could work with. So I feel like it makes a lot of sense to have Charlotte be at the forefront of why the women's division in SmackDown is so chaotic, because the Queen is back.
Got you. Matt, hold on. Matt, your thoughts, and then after that, Dallas and JT.
I'm not gonna hold you. I was about to call Time whole thought. Time girls. I was about to clone both thoughts. Because one, I don't think Charlotte. Look. I don't think Charlotte needs a title. I don't think she needs the title chase. I just think she needs to wreck shit and be like how Ty explained it. Really full of herself, and her storyline is strictly her ego. She don't need no title. Charlotte is what? How many times have you won a title? It's like 15, 16? Like, come on, bro. We don't need another title from Charlotte. Like, why would she need to win a Rumble? Why do we need to legitimize Tiffany Stratton against Charlotte when she just beat Bayley on Friday clean? That doesn't make sense to me. And we all have been on record to say, out of the 4 horsewomen, Bayley was the complete package. She was the wrestler's wrestler out of all of it. She was the workhorse. So if I'm going to put Charlotte in any boat for any title, it would have to be the IC title, because something needs to happen in that lane. Honestly, I don't need Charlotte on SmackDown because I feel like SmackDown is already loaded. If you really want to be honest, after Rhea wins the title against Liv, who's she feuding with?
I got people for that.
Make it make sense.
I
don't got, but that's not. You got people for that. But which one makes sense? Who legitimizes it?
Well, the argument you make of that, like, Rhea doesn't have to be legitimized anyway forward.
She has to be legitimized by it because of her beating horsewomen.
No, she's beaten Charlotte and Becky already. She doesn't need to go into a feud with Charlotte again to be legitimized.
But why do you feel like Tiffany Stratton needs to do?
I never said she had to be legitimized. I'm going off of the projected finish for WrestleMania, or the projected match for WrestleMania. I'm trying to tie the most realistic elements possible to make a storyline that could actually be satisfactory for the grand audience. Because the reality is if Charlotte's wrecking shit in the division, a lot of people are going to be elevated by that off rip. Most of us.
I don't think she should be wrecking shit. I think she should be starting shit. Not wrecking shit. It's a new era. She's not the same. She's not the top dog no more.
That's my point. That's actually my point. Like, the whole point is for Charlotte to want to reclaim her former glory. And yes, Charlotte has won many championships. A lot of us can kind of agree that there are a couple we could take out that we don't really like if we wanted to cut down the number. If you give us a championship reign worth watching, and you make Charlotte actually worth watching, she becomes an asset to the company that she hasn't been before. A lot of those title reigns were pushed upon us in a certain way. But if you have Charlotte, and she doesn't even have to hold the belt that long, mind you. But if you make a storyline that makes sense for it, and Charlotte is actually being a good heel champion with a track record behind her and a mean streak behind her and a line of bodies behind her, I don't think anyone's going to complain about that, especially when you consider the fact that when she loses it again, which could be to Tiffany, it could be to Bianca, it could be to somebody new, It works to the benefit of the company. You want productive title reigns, and you need to use established names to do it. Look at me, Matt. Well, you can't. Look at my mask. Do you think I want Charlotte to get any more championship reigns? No.
I don't know.
But if I got
You
to make a
sounded like a Charlotte
compromise,
bot. You sounded
if
like
I
a
got to
Charlotte bot for
compromise
a
to
little
get
bit.
what I want, I'm going to do it. All right? Because
But
it's
I'm
about
just saying.
business. What did Dallas say?
But
We
I
making
don't
money,
want
right?
Tiffany
About
versus
business.
Charlotte. I don't want Tiffany versus Charlotte. If you, I like the whole plan out that you had with Jade. That can tie into some shit. But
Well,
I
I
like
think
that, and I like that as a mental mind game fuck versus her having to run for the title and like finagle her way to the title. I like her being that in wrestling years. She's the vet. She's the old head, right? So
Vaughn,
she's
I
not gonna
agree,
be able
yes, because they're 21 of them.
athletically. But that's what I'm saying. Athletically, she's not supposed to be keeping up with these people. I'd rather her be the smart one. Because in the 4 Horsewomen, she was technically the smart one out of the 4, right? I would
Okay.
like to tie into that. I would like for her to play like the Seth Rollins version of that in this era. Like, I don't need her being 5-star match Charlotte having all of these matches and winning titles and shit. I don't need that. We don't need that. I think we have surpassed that era of Charlotte Flair. She's no longer John Cena. If she's gonna be John Cena, she needs to be John Cena in the U.S. title era.
I'm not asking
Making
her
stars.
like, I understand where you're coming from, Matt, but I'm not asking her to be John Cena. I'm not asking her to be pushed down our throats like that. I'm asking her to be, for example, I'm asking her for her to be more like a short-term Randy Orton, like in Orton in 2021 with the WWE title, or say a JBL to a shorter degree, or what's a better champion that was short-term?
Rey Mysterio.
No, not that. Not that it didn't exist. I'm not so sure it didn't exist. But no, I feel you. Like it's only for a short period of time. It's just to give a temporary boost because Lord knows what the brand little that what was it, that transfer window they got and everything. We don't even know what the rosters are going to be in a month or so. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you put that story in place, there's a number of people that could take her off that pedestal, and we can get back to what we like to see: new people shining. You know, I'm just trying to use Charlotte for what she's worth at this point.
Respect. So, JT and Dallas, what's your thoughts on this? How would you book a Charlotte coming back into WWE in 2025?
I would book her like Gisela Blanco, since she was backstage looking like she was definitely moving them keys. Listen, we need Latina Charlotte Flair, okay? I need her to not only be booked strong, but I would pair her up with Andrade. Fuck it. We already know they a couple. So I would pair them up, and I'll get some people around her, maybe some flunkies. I don't want to call them flunkies, but you get what I'm saying.
Her own faction.
Give her her own faction.
I'm about to cook on my take.
Let her go ahead and run roughshod. And she don't necessarily need to win the WWE Women's Championship. I'm more so happy if she goes for one of those mid-card titles because they need they need an established star for both of those titles to give it that oomph. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, no shade to Chelsea Green or to what's the other one?
Lyra Valkyria.
Valkyria. Like
that's what needs it. She needs it more than anybody.
She can cook. She's great in the ring, but far as that star power, like, you know, far as okay, this person is known everywhere. You know what I'm saying? With Lyra, she has a lot of the overseas credit. To the US people here in the US, she's just now gaining that traction. So I think honestly, if Charlotte Flair going for the IC title or the US women's title would be a great move for her, but book her like Gisela Blanco. Make her a goddamn godmother or something. Let her run roughshod. Let her call hits. Matter of fact, she even got to talk much. Just, you know, give somebody the look, and next thing you know, somebody hurt backstage. I don't know. Take out Dakota Kai before her knees do it by herself. Something.
Oh shit. Shit.
All right, so a couple things. One, I disagree with you. Someone saying that Tiffany and Charlotte are the two most athletic women in the business when you have Bianca.
That was Chris.
So we're
That was
gonna
definitely
we're just gonna put
Snitch.
that.
I did not
I
say
wasn't saying the most athletic.
You
I was saying
did. You did.
I was saying,
Yo,
I was saying
fool
two of,
timed him
two
out
of.
fast.
I was saying
Yo,
two of the most athletic, not the most. My bad.
bro gave it up
apologize,
crazy.
bro.
So another thing is when
Apologize, man.
Charlotte won the 2020 Royal Rumble,
My bad, bro.
she went after the NXT Women's Championship, which helped elevate it after she won. So if she's going to go after Tiffany Stratton, do this. Let's go back a little bit to 1994. If anybody remembers the 1994 Royal Rumble, we had two co-winners. We had Bret Hart and we had Lex Luger. I would like to do the same thing.
Oh shit!
I would like to do the same thing for this Royal Rumble and have
hated that.
Bianca and Charlotte win it both, and they can't decide. So then we go to Elimination Chamber. We get Charlotte versus Bianca. That's when Jade comes out and attacks Bianca, costing her a championship opportunity because basically she was saying you were holding me back the entire time and you weren't there when I needed you. Number two, another thing that we have to discuss is once Charlotte goes to Tiffany Stratton, she should lose to Tiffany Stratton. She should. I don't want to see I don't want to see no Charlotte in the bank again.
I'm fine with that.
I don't want to see
Nobody
that
wants that.
again. But we would get the Bianca and Jade match with a purpose at WrestleMania. We still get Tiffany and Charlotte.
You shit, man, fans.
And then
Man,
we get
shit.
that we get a long-term story to go along with it. Having said that, with people wanting Charlotte to win the Rumble, if people don't think Charlotte should win the Rumble, is Becky Lynch going to win it? Is it going to be Bianca Belair and then maybe Jade cost her the title at WrestleMania and causes her streak to go from 4-0 to 4-1? And we got a long-term feud. The thing is that with Charlotte Flair, there are so many possibilities and booking possibilities. Everybody on this panel gave great explanations, but in my opinion, two co-winners, have them face off at Elimination Chamber. And even if Charlotte doesn't win the Rumble, if somebody else wins it, like if Io wins the Rumble, Charlotte doesn't have to win the Rumble to get to Tiffany Stratton. She could win at Elimination Chamber. So she doesn't necessarily have to win the Rumble. But Rhea's going to need an opponent. So I would suggest either Rhea versus Bianca or Rhea versus Io. And then Charlotte wins Elimination Chamber and goes after Tiffany Stratton. That way we get a new Royal Rumble winner. We don't get a repeat Rumble winner. Even if, like I said, Bianca or Charlotte, they both repeat Rumble winners if they do win a second time. I personally would like to see Io win the Rumble because we didn't really get Rhea and Io the way we should have. And I think this would be a great way to introduce that. Charlotte does not need to win the Royal Rumble.
Thank you.
She can win at Elimination Chamber. And another thing, she doesn't necessarily need the title because she is who she is. She's helped elevate the title. But the reason why Bianca and Charlotte are so close together is there's a line that Bianca said prior to SummerSlam 2023 when she told her, you have won the championship multiple times. I only had to do it once or twice to make my name known. You had to do it multiple times and we're on the same level. So if we're having that happen, it should be between either Bianca, Charlotte, or Io. And then my dark horse to win the Rumble, even though this is not going to happen. She's my homegirl. I talk to her every now and then. Meechin, I would definitely have her win something because she's due for a championship run. But that's my take on it.
I mess with it. You say something quick because I know JT didn't get a chance to speak.
If you want to legitimize this TNA merger, why not rock the boat and have somebody from that realm or NXT win it? Like if we're in the next era of building stars, legitimize these stars in these other brands that are not being talked about as much. And I feel like they need to be talked about, especially in the women's division. Because if you really want my honest opinion, NXT and TNA have the best women's division. If you want my honest opinion,
that's a fact.
I think if you do that, the perfect person would be Roxanne Perez. Because to your point,
Ty.
No,
I talk about Ty.
I want to clarify. When in my take, although I dwelled on the idea of Charlotte being champion, I didn't say it was necessary because Tiffany can win it and is fine. Because I was more so thinking about Charlotte, Jade, and Bianca. 2, Charlotte is not the most athletic woman. I think of the most. And 3, if Roxanne Perez were to win and face Rhea, I would actually want her to go the full distance and beat Rhea. I have my thoughts on Rhea. I feel like after slaughtering the women's division to the point where there is no world title division outside of Io and Liv Morgan, and there's a deeper intercontinental women's division than there is a world women's division. If you had somebody like Roxanne Perez beat Rhea and actually win the championship and fulfill more of the prodigy role that she's already done, especially with all the records she's been breaking, there's no better way to establish a top star than, say, another Rumble projection had. But yeah, I think that would make the most sense if you do an NXT winner.
I respect
And
it.
shout out to Liv. Shout out to Liv for being being in that division and holding it down.
You guys have definitely cooked. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to GC. shout out to GC Vaughn in the chat as well. Oh my god! Of course, our boy Shot Business, and we got Dre in the building as well. I'm about to record him later in terms of our basketball podcast later. There's a lot to talk about on that end. But great takes from everybody all across the board. This was good. Quickly across the board, your thoughts, quick takes on Raw thus far on Netflix. Obviously, the first one was just to to plant the flag. This is where WWE is going to be on a streaming service. This past week, obviously, it was more wrestling and ended quite on time or early, so to speak. So far, what has been your thoughts quickly? Because I know there's a lot to get through. So what has been your thoughts on Raw on Netflix so far? Start with Dallas.
All right, so great. Casual audience is getting put on to pure wrestling. Everybody gets a chance to shine. We get a great match on Netflix every week, and it's great for the talent. Everybody gets their chance to shine every week. That's it.
Copy. JT.
I'll make it real quick for y'all. This shit is fucking heaven right now. The camera work. I don't know if y'all been able to watch it on Netflix, but those cameras are Cameron. Also, that the structure of it. Yeah, they ended early this past Monday, but they had more viewers than they had on their debut episode, according to Netflix numbers. So, with that being said, it's a great relationship. At 5.9 million viewers across the world, they damn near gonna hit 6 million next week. So this is a good relationship.
I respect it. Matt? Going once, going twice.
He's still in the closet.
Grizz, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been said the camera work was impeccable. It's just amazing, the camera work that they're doing on there. And they brought back the drones. Thank you, Jesus. I thought that was just a one-time thing, especially the first night they did it. And that's another thing that's really great. The drone camera work was amazing. Same thing. The casual fan is being reintroduced to wrestling. And, the viewership is going up every week. And they're going to crack 6 million. They're going to get to 7 million. As Vaughn just said in the chat, it changed the game. It changed the game. Tony Khan is punching the air right now.
Leave TK out of this. Leave TK out of this for now.
I'll put him in there. Fuck that.
Anyway, Matt, we didn't get a chance to get you last time. What's your thoughts on Raw on Netflix so far? Quickly.
Fuck you, Tony Khan. Eat a dick. That's my thoughts on it. Eat it. Eat all of it.
All right.
Suck. And Raw Netflix proved it. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. 2 episodes in. And Triple H said, you know what? I'm gonna pop out and show niggas. Not pop out and show niggas that we fertile, because that was crazy. That was crazy. That was wild.
Tyler. Take the wheel, Tyler. Take the wheel, Tyler. Take the wheel. Take back the wheel. Ride this shit back.
I like the presentation. Wasn't a big fan of the first episode because it felt too much like an infomercial, but the second episode was dope. It's still too early to tell for me, but I like the momentum so far. The second episode did more convincing for me than the first. So I'll go with that.
Pretty good. Shout out to we got 177, eyes tuning in on this episode, featuring our guest MarksWithMics. Very good answers across the board. Let's get into the rumor mill real quick. In terms of our next question, starting with the first one.
Ooh, I can't wait. Can't wait to talk about this one.
Everybody's been talking about, Malachi Black, who is currently in AEW, still under contract. Apparently, he's going to be released within the next 2 weeks, where his contract will expire. And a lot of sources have been saying that he might be on his way back to WWE. Now, it's not the first time that his name has been brought up in terms of rumors of leaving for the WWE, excuse me. Many times he's had to come on social media to refute those claims, but now there might be some actual smoke to that fire. Malachi Black, who, was been relegated to mostly tag team action and some injury plague spots in his tenure in AEW, might make his return to WWE. Should that be a true statement for him to come back? How would we reintroduce Malachi back into WWE? And I was going to start with you, Dowds, but you started last time. So I'm a snake draft this. I'm a snake question this. So Ty, you get the first dibs on this. How would you reintroduce Malachi back to WWE?
For me, it's a little bit on the spot for me. I've had a couple days to kind of see this rumor. I think that the best way to introduce Malachi Black to WWE is straight from the top. In my opinion, there's no reason why he shouldn't be amongst the top stars, considering he was cutting his teeth with a lot of those guys already. I think the last program he was having was on SmackDown, I believe. But prior to that, he was in a feud with Kevin Owens. I'm like drawing a blank in terms of who exactly to have him go after first, because I know for some people one of the top answers would be Cody, considering their AEW history and how he smoked Cody off the bat. So that would be an interesting person to have be Cody's kryptonite. In the same token, depending on where Gunther remains, because I imagine he's going to stay on Raw, right? Unless they wanted to move the WWE Universal title over to Netflix. But Gunther versus Aleister Black, if he were to switch back to Aleister Black, would be an interesting idea as well. But for me, I think the main thing that I'd want to see is how he continues his momentum, because if you saw in AEW, he carried over the storyline elements that he had from WWE, as weird as they were, like the fact that his eye was messed up and he made it seem mutated. The fact that he was heading into a darker and darker path with like a darker path, darker presentation. So I am more so curious on that end about the run. It's been kind of sprung upon me. Like I haven't had enough time to really flesh this one out personally, but I would like to see him more towards the top. I'd rather see him towards the top championships. Yeah, you could do Malachi Black versus Nakamura. I wouldn't be necessarily against that, but at the same time, part of me kind of likes when similar characters are kept apart, if that makes sense.
I feel you. Before I get to E, I have one name, and it's simple in terms of why, because like what better way to kind of boost up certain stars that might need it? If Malachi is going to come back, instead of rushing him into something that might fizzle out early, I would have him go against Karrion Kross to start off, because of the fact that he does need something as a single star to kind of push forward after the Wyatt storyline kind of fizzled out. What better way to kind of like reintroduce his character like Malachi Black and someone that's similar to him than Karrion Kross? They're similar and they're both hard hitting. So what better way to kind of help bring Kross up a little bit more than bringing up somebody like a Aleister Black and have them go against each other? That's pretty much how I feel about it. I'm not sure how you guys might rock with it, but that's pretty much my thoughts in terms of if he was to come back, who would he be the first one to face off against, and who would he basically feud with? For me, it would be Karrion Kross. E, Matt, and then JT.
Gonna leave me out?
No. We're saving the best for last because I know you got something in the heater.
Well, goddamn, I ain't the best.
Oh no!
Who's this?
Hey, listen, man. This is how the rotation goes.
Sorry, JT. It's competition within the family.
It's pitting brothers against each other. This is exactly what the enemy wants.
Black on black,
Nigga, answer your goddamn question. Answer the question, please.
All right. So for me, I honestly thought about reopening the stuff with Big E, because I think that was the last thing that he did. Of course, we know Big E is still injured, but still got the New Day over there. You know what I mean?
He could help Big E with the New Day. To be fair.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the last thing that happened, he was supposed to go after the IC title with against Big E before he got released. So let's just say, for just fantasy scenario here, New Day enters the Royal Rumble. Big E comes out, eliminates them. Aleister Black is maybe the next entrant or the second to next entrant that comes out there, and that's just to reintroduce him. Now, I do like the fact of doing a Karrion Kross kind of thing. Even though Karrion Kross, I just don't see it, but I know a lot of people with Karrion Kross, he's like a catapult to a lot of the storylines that we have going on right now. So Karrion Kross is not a bad idea. It actually gives him something to do. I wouldn't mind getting him into the IC title contention as far as with Braun Breaker. I think Braun needs something to do as well, showcase more. I wouldn't even mind him going against Nakamura and getting into the U.S. title picture if he goes back to SmackDown. So there's different avenues that you can put him down. But as far as like the reintroduction, let's kind of close that chapter with him and Big E. Well, eventually would have been him and the New Day. So let's just kind of close that chapter first. It's kind of like it's continuity, which the one thing that we always talk about on this show, continuity. And he's been keeping up with it this whole time, even in AEW. Who's to say that we don't keep it up here? I know pending Big E may or may not be a surprise entrant.
You want Aleister Black to catch Braun Breaker out of the air mid-spear with a foot?
Yes.
That's great. That's good shit.
This is good shit.
It is.
This is good shit.
Braun Breaker hurt himself by accident.
Yo,
imagine this man running full speed and he runs full speed into a black mass.
Listen,
all right, Matt, you speak. I don't want to talk about murder right now.
That spot wouldn't be fire? Come on now.
All right, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
Fuck you, Tony Khan. You can eat a dick. You fucked it up again. It's good for your stupid ass. Another one bites the dust. They gonna come to WWE and they gonna present him the proper way. The proper way. I hope he comes back and be in the main event scene against Cody Rhodes. Because you know what, son? It was heat. It was heat. Not Sunday Night Heat, because that was kind of trash. But I kind of like it, because that's our childhood. I fuck with Sunday Night Heat. But not on Sunday nights, because pay-per-views is on Saturdays now, bitch. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck you, Tony Khan. Fuck you. Don't know what the fuck you doing. Fucking Johnson and Johnson, motherfucker. That's.
Oh my God, JT, JT, the ball's in your court, man. How would you book Malachi Black back in WWE?
First of all, Matt, your LinkTree is on the 1,000, sir. You are definitely invited to the church.
I appreciate it.
I love this dude.
But I will say this: if we're going to book a Malachi, Aleister Black, Tommy End, whatever you want to call him, if we are going to bring him back and book him, I have a fantasy booking and I have the actual real way. Fantasy wise, I would say get that nigga involved with the Y6. Don't ask me why. Just want to see it. And it's no secret that him and Bray were working on something while Bray was potentially getting ready to sign with AEW. So I would like to see the pieces of what they were working on together kind of go into fruition. Ooh. That's on the fantasy side.
That's dope.
If I'm going to be real with you, I'm going to say this. Why don't we do this for Malachi Black? Why don't we change anything from how his presentation was, leaving and going to AEW, then coming back? He don't need to have a whole House of Black faction, but don't change it too much. As they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The only problem with what he had going on in AEW was the fact that he was not, number one, given that light that he would get underneath the WWE, and also injury, of course, prolonged it as well. But I would not change anything about the presentation. I would have him feuding within that mid-card title range, whether that be Shinsuke or whether that be Braun Breaker. I do like that idea, but this is where I would put him. As far as getting to Cody Rhodes, which we heard earlier, I would like to see that come down sometime down the road. But if it does come down the road, let it be after Cody Rhodes has lost the title. Let Malachi Black, Alistair Tummy in, be his protagonist / antagonist, or just that motherfucker that's getting on his nerve to finally break Cody Rhodes, to dye the hair back black and become a full-on heel. Let him be the one that brings that out of him. Because if it's anyone who could bring that out of him, there's only two people that I can see doing it. It's a Karrion Kross if given the opportunity. But Malachi Black, being that they already got history, he gonna be the one. Because I ain't gonna hold you. Ari Anderson told Cody, if I was you, I
would have shot him.
Blow them away. So you can also bring an Arn Anderson back into the fold too. Like you can rehash that whole story. Like that's where we going. Matter of fact, Cody got a lot of stories to finish. Finish that one, goddammit. How about you finish that one? And that's my 2 cents.
Nah, I respect it, man. Shout out to the 218 people that's tuning in into this live stream, tuning into the chat. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Backstage Brawl. Follow us on Facebook at The Backstage Brawl. We're on Twitter right now, live, backstage_brawl. And before we shift on to the last question, Dallas, you are the closer, so close out this question because I know you got a good take, so bring it on home.
Nobody,
nigga.
Nobody. It's all good. It's all good, bro. I got you. That's why my take is going to be better than yours. Anyway, no, I'm just so nobody's actually said it.
For yourself.
Right. Nobody's actually said it. Nobody has said it at all, because if you say it out loud, it doesn't make sense until you book it the right way. Now people say he should go after Cody Rhodes, Wyatt Six, Karrion Kross. I have something completely left field, but it does make sense. We need to legitimize Alistair Black as a hitman. So what we do is we form a temporary alliance with Alistair Black and Judgment Day. And the reason why is Finn Balor is tired of everybody in Judgment Day pulling their weight and not doing anything. So he has to be the judge. The rest of Judgment Day has to be the jury, and Alistair Black can be the executioner. And that can be done by sending Alistair Black after Damian Priest. He squashes Damian Priest just like that. Finn Balor sees that and he says, you know what? We're going to use you again. So then he starts going after everybody on the roster. And then he starts to go after Gunther. But before Alistair gets away from Judgment Day, House of Black can come in and be part of that and kick JD, Dom, and all of them out. And now Judgment Day has legitimate power players in the mix. Once that's done, Alistair Black needs to go after the next best thing. Main event Jey Uso. He's the most beloved star on the roster. He needs to get Jey Uso out of there too. He needs to go after Chad Gable, get him out of there too, and say, because I was not given the opportunities in this company, I'm going to take out everybody that you guys love. Kick the dead weight out of Judgment Day. Bring the House of Black in. Finn Balor will be done with Damian Priest, and then Alistair Black can say, you know what? I'm going to move on to bigger and better things, and he goes after Gunther. And what he needs to do is, to get to Gunther, he needs to go after Kaiser first. He needs to put Kaiser on the shelf, kayfabe-wise, for a few months so they can potentially repackage him. Then what he could also do is have a temporary feud with Braun Breaker, where he goes after Braun Breaker and gets him out of there. Then he gets Sheamus out of there. He clears out the entire roster before he gets to Gunther, and then the House of Black goes after the tag team championships, and they dominate as well. And that leaves Finn Balor to go after either if he decides to go after Black after that, because maybe he feels like Black is getting too big-headed, or if he decides, you know what, I'm going to go after Intercontinental Champion, you go ahead and take the reins. But we can get a Balor title run. Judgment Day would hold all the titles on Raw, and any beloved superstar during that time would have to go through Aleister Black first before anything else. That legitimizes Judgment Day. It gives them the shot in the arm that they need. Balor gets his get back through Aleister Black. There we go.
That's a nice move right
I got
there.
one question. I got one question.
Matt, shoot your question because we got other stuff to tackle.
What's the contracts with Brody King and I know Buddy just resigned.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well then,
fuck. I hate them Death Row contracts.
No, that storyline still works if you just focus on Aleister. So
yeah, but Aleister would get it done.
He can create a new stable.
But he has to squash Damian Priest.
Or he could be a hitman by himself.
He's finisher for the Bronx. I don't care. You can squash him.
Also, another thing, I have this weird idea is that Aleister could be used on different shows as a hitman because he can take out top stars. And the way I would do it is I would have backstage a black envelope left somewhere on the wall letting you know that Aleister is nearby, and that's how he gets paid off. So people are paying him off by putting money in a black envelope for him. There's a black rose in the ring, and the lights go out. You know Aleister's coming out to take out somebody. But he shouldn't just go after just superstars. He needs to go after authority figures too. How crazy would it be if Aleister Black lays out Nick Aldis and then lays out their top stars, and the locker room has to band together to stop him? But you never know when he's going to show up. Keep him spontaneous.
I like the
mystery.
That's like Moy. So Tyler, would you say that idea is Moy?
Hey, I was about to say that. I think more.
That's Moy right there.
It's more, especially the idea. I really like the idea of him being like, they called it free agents, but basically him being a floating talent between brands, where he hasn't been signed yet. I don't know if we keep it like that in the long term, but definitely in the initial, him just floating around because you don't know what he's going to do. I mess with that.
I mess with that. That's really, really good.
I like that move.
I like that move. That was really, really nice. I'm glad I closed with you. But I am going to start with you with this final rumor mill question before we pretty much end off. Scott D'Amore was backstage at AEW this past week at Dynamite. There's been some rumors that TK, he's been looking into getting guys on the creative side. Do you think TK would give Scott D'Amore a chance at AEW creative? Now, listen, we're not talking about AEW in terms of where they are right now, whatever's going on is in the third. We're just basically talking on the purpose of this question. The only reason why I leave a disclaimer with this question is directly for Matt. We're not trying to get outside of what, the question is all about. We're just asking extremely just for creative purposes.
I'll take a crack at it.
All right, but like the way I snaked it last time, so Dallas goes first.
Got it.
Hey Matt, what did you say about Tony Khan again?
Oh shit!
Give me the fucking dick. Fuck him.
Yeah. So if Tony Khan wants to make money and have his product look a little bit more attractive, Scott is definitely the person that can do it. And there's legitimately a producer and a head of creative backstage that can make this happen. It's not like they don't already have that right now. But AEW needs a shot in the arm because right now it doesn't seem like there's any camaraderie. It seems like everybody's just out for themselves at this point. And having Scott back there basically brings it together and creates organization within AEW. We want to like AEW. We want to have an alternative, and they do have the talent to make that happen. But someone has to keep these people in line and basically say, hey, this is the way it's going to be. They can create different storylines to keep people engaged. And since they've went to Max, now that's crazy.
that was a great
Vaughn, bro.
That was a great Michael Jackson song.
I like that is crazy, Vaughn.
I like Vaughn. He
shout out to the Victorious Ones podcast. Shout out to Vaughn.
I like that move.
Before I basically step back, this is basically what AEW would need, because when Scott was at TNA, it was a great product and it helped elevate it into what it is now. And look where TNA is now. Hopefully, the same thing can be done for AEW.
TNA got their name back. JT?
Scott D'Amore. Listen, love the guy's a booking person, all that. I don't even think that him and I don't think nobody's going to be able to do what we want to go on the Dallas's thing. Like, hey, I like AEW. Do I love it? No. I like WWE. Do I love it all the time? No. I do think Scott could bring some type of structure, but honestly, I think at this point, it's more so bringing in his promotion to use as a feeder system. They've already had a match already with Takesha.
I'm sorry, JT.
That comment is crazy.
I'm sorry. That's
I'm fucking fine.
I just read.
JT, go.
But I would say definitely with Scott D'Amore coming in, if you are going to use him in the aspect of helping get an organization done. But other than that, I don't see a prominent role for him there. You know, if he does get a role there, then it'll probably be within booking. But I think it's kind of a long shot. I think this is more so of bringing in his promotion, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, as somewhat of a partnership as a company that they can work with in Canada.
Oh my god! I feel like if your name is Adam, you just automatically injured. It's funny. Oh god.
JT actually got the Maple Leaf Pro. That is very
such a good point, bro. JT, you made a great point, man.
JT, you a pro because goddamn it, Vaughn, why'd you have to do that? Like you went through that like a true pro. Oh man, Matt, are you gonna cuss again about, or should I just skip it over to E?
No, I'm good. I ain't gonna cuss. I mean, why should I have to keep announcing the fact that Tony Khan should eat a fucking dick? I shouldn't have to keep fucking saying it. Fuck you, Johnson & Johnson in the nose having ass bitch. You need to do something. Because at this point, I'm sick of your shit. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all this shit. I'm sick of Mercedes Moné looking like a GTA fucking stripper. I'm sick of it all. Doing the same shit. Look, it is what it is. Yep, I said it. I said it. 2 tears in the bucket.
Oh my god.
Loading. Loading.
E, take the wheel. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts about this? Do you think TK gives D'Amore a chance at AEW Creative?
Hey, listen, AEW got to fight back. They got to fight back.
They're getting washed right now.
It's not even. It's not even close. And you know, TK's already punching the air over the TNA thing because honestly, that was supposed to be his deal.
That's not why he's punching the air. That's not why he's punching the air. He's high. Let's be honest. Don't.
No, he's punching the air because that was supposed to be his deal. He's
punching the air because he's high. He's on that Johnson & Johnson. That's why I'm trying to tell you. The nigga always hot. He got white stuff in the nose. He's fucked up. He done fucked up the whole. He fucked up everything.
Stay on track. Stay on track. E, continue.
Don't give me a mic.
E, continue and Ty close out.
That's my point. Like at this point, you have to fight back. You have to have something. Kenny Omega coming back cannot be the reason why your roster gets whipped back into shape. Like I get it. Yes, he's an EVP. I get it. You know, as Randy puts them, Rod and Todd Flanders are also EVPs, but they hold more keys to the creative more than Kenny Omega does. Kenny Omega sits there and holds these guys accountable for not going out there putting on the matches that he knows they can put on. So now you're going to put somebody ahead of creative. You're going to put a Scott D'Amore at the head of creative and saw what he did with TNA. I mean, yeah, but are you going to give him the full range? That's the main thing. Are you going to give him the keys to the car? Or are you going to micromanage? Because if you're going to continue to micromanage and you're going to want to put your own spin on things, then it's truly not somebody ahead of creative. And to be honest with you, let's really talk about it. You're no better than the old man. You're no better than Vince if you're going to do something like that. So my advice is this: if you're truly going to give D'Amore a chance, let him cook. You saw what he did. His resume. You saw his resume. Let him do what he does. Do not try to micromanage him. There's going to be people pissed off backstage because they're not going to get their way. They're going to throw their little temper tantrums. Let them throw them. If for the sake of your company, for the sake of actually getting wrestling to make sense on an AEW scale, this is what you do. To be the number 2, this is what you do.
Freak Nasty is crazy, boy. All right, Ty, close it out.
Being a menace.
All right, so I get to be closer this time. Sweet. Let me put it to you like this. I think JT made a really good point about Elite Pro, because one of the biggest criticisms that people have, absolutely, tap your shoulder like Tommaso Ciampa. No, absolutely, because I want people to understand a few things here. One, it would be tough to put the creative of 2 companies on one person's back. And I say that because Tony Khan already struggles with that, doing with AEW and Ring of Honor. We've seen the dysfunction with that. We've seen how titles just be appearing wherever. We see how storylines be jumping from program to program, but not everybody has access to all the program. We've talked about how many creative issues AEW's had, structural issues they've had. I still believe they should do a 3-brand system where Collision has a set of titles, Dynamite has a set of titles, and ROH is treated like a proper developmental, even though they have been doing pretty decently down there with some of their champions, but nobody gets to see what they're doing and no one really knows what's going on, and that's what's really killing them. But I don't want to put the pressure on Scott D'Amore like that, to the point where, like, if he wants to, sure. But if there's one thing that I know Scott D'Amore could do, whether it's as a part-time help, a full-time creative, is they can help AEW find something that I personally believe they've never truly had, and that's their own identity. And that might be controversial to some people, but I want you to understand something. I've had a couple of AEW conversations this past weekend to the point where I'm starting to see gray hairs. And I'll tell you this. AEW's biggest identity was that it wasn't WWE. And that is the most consistent thing that they've had since the beginning of their introduction, is that they're not WWE. The only difference is at the time when they were hot, it meant something to them because WWE was screwing up so bad that mediocre felt marvelous. AEW has the same structural issues they had back then. AEW still has an issue with signing the hottest talents, and then they fizzle out after a couple of months. AEW's had this issue for a while. You have Kazuchika Okada on your screen, and he doesn't feel even half of as popular as he should. I'm not saying he has to be God like he was in Japan, but outside of the comedic bits, he's not being where he's supposed to be. There are a lot of talents you could say that about. But if there's one thing that I think Scott D'Amore could help them figure out is an identity, because even before TNA became TNA again, he was helping Impact find itself. He was helping Impact find a niche in a wrestling world where TNA used to be number 2. Impact was at best 4 or 5. And when it turned around and they finally got the TNA name back, it felt like the beginning of something new, and the reins got cut from under him before he got a real chance to further push that identity. And that's the one thing I'd want AEW to have, because you could talk about how AEW has way too many championships. You could talk about how AEW doesn't introduce enough of their talents the right way, the lack of vignettes, the lack of regular tier storylines, not telenovelas, not general hospital level dragged out stories, but just reasons for things to happen on the show. But if there's one thing that AEW has struggled to find is an identity, and sometimes when you don't have your identity, you have a hard time progressing forward in any direction with any action that you take. You don't know what job you want because you don't know what you want. You don't know what action to take because you don't know who you are. And that, to me, is what Scott D'Amore would work the best at, is helping the shows find identity, helping some of the talents find identity. And I feel like I could vouch for Scott D'Amore at this point based on what I know, because he has such a good reputation in the business and amongst his TNA his TNA cohorts and coworkers over there who speak so highly of him, and they were disappointed when he left. So that's what I would like to see more than anything. Will Tony Khan give him that much control? Who knows? This is a fantasy scenario. But if he was given enough power that he could have the influence to do just that, that would give TNA 10 times more value in the long run than most anything else. Because if you can tell me exactly what AEW, not TNA, I mean AEW, my apologies. If you can tell me what AEW is truly about right now, I'd appreciate it. But I feel like that's a hard question to answer in general. But with
We-
Scott D'Amore, you'd really know what AEW's identity is truly about.
AEW is where the best wrestle. Don't do that.
That is such a subjective sentence. You can apply that to so many different companies that I don't think that holds any weight here. No offense.
No, AEW is where the tag teams come to play.
I don't think that makes much sense either, considering how much the Bucks have dominated that company and their teams, injury or not, that have been put to the wayside for the sake of the Bucks having some time on TV. And whether that's ego or what, it's just not great TV, is what I'm saying. It's hard to tell me. It's hard for you to tell me what AEW is all about other than dysfunction.
GC said it best. GC said it best. He says AEW needs to stop making matches for Dave Meltzer.
No, you can have great matches. Give me a reason to watch them and make them make sense for the overall show, as opposed to maybe two of them being the highlight of the entire upload. So you want to enjoy all the hours of programming. You don't want to just enjoy 30 minutes of it.
Facts. We can definitely talk about this for as long as we can. But I do like the fact it takes in terms of what everybody said in terms of D'Amore possibly, if it were possible, in terms of how it would go. Good questions all around. Quickly before we go, quick highlights that happened this week. Highlights in wrestling this week. What were some of your favorite highlights of this week? I know like some of them is probably the obvious, but going across, starting with Ty, what was one wrestling highlight this week that kind of captivated you this week?
My highlight this week, probably Roxanne and Bailey. I know the obvious is Penta, but I want to say Roxanne and Bailey.
Roxanne and Bailey was a good one.
That could be a seed planted for an actual long-term feud down the road. I know that they're trying to do something this follow-up NXT, but especially considering Bailey won the Rumble last year, if they had Roxanne win the Rumble this year, and maybe a couple months down the line we come back to these two in the ring, I think it's a nice seed that's been planted.
Okay. Copy. E, your highlight this week.
I mean, let's go with our women's champion, man. Tiffany Stratton and Bailey, man. She showed out.
Mm-hmm.
She showed out. A lot of people are down her title reign already. Mm-hmm. Actually, you know what, though? That's not my highlight. My highlight is Corey Graves having a crash out on Twitter. That's really my highlight. Corey Graves.
Oh, boy.
I felt you
took my answer.
I felt bad.
You being a little bitch.
You took my answer.
You being a little bitch.
You took my answer.
I did.
Hey,
Matt,
so funny.
Hey Matt, you did say that AEW is the place where the tag teams come to play. Guess who's going after tag team championships? Hurt niggas.
Oh God.
I fucking told you.
Oh,
I told you. I fucking told you.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
And you know,
it's really Tiffany and Bailey, but it's really Corey Graves crashing out. But go ahead.
Matt,
I guarantee Bobby Lashley's about to be the new Ring of Honor heavyweight champion, yo. I guarantee it's about to happen. Ain't no way in the hell he's winning the whole heavyweight title. It's not happening. No matter of fact, they about to win a 6-man title.
The trios? Oh, God.
They have a trios match not too long ago. MVP was in the ring.
I fucking hate Tony Khan. I swear to God, I fucking hate him. I hate him. Oh my God. My highlight of the week, Kenny Omega coming back. Cause motherfucker, for what? They need you. What's going on? Like Kenny Omega? They need Kenny Omega that bad, bro. The Bucks ain't on TV. Okada keeps calling everybody a bitch. We don't know who's the champion for what brand, whether it's Ring of Honor or AEW.
Listen, keep the young cucks off of TV, man.
Oh,
the longer they on TV, the better for me.
Oh my God, they got fucking Sasha Banks. I mean Mercedes Moné.
The boss.
Oh my God, bro! Like,
hey, leave ball people alone. All right.
It's just that's the highlight for me. Kenny Omega coming back.
JT, your highlight.
Cause real shit, ain't it just like in case of emergency break glass? That was Kenny Omega.
JT.
Go ahead.
Nia Jax. That's it.
Dallas.
That's it. Nia Jax.
All right, so
I love
all right. So I got two. So one was obviously Penta and Chad Gable on Raw, and you know, Penta giving. I've never seen
Pure graps.
Somebody giving an acceptance speech after winning their debut match. Like that was just crazy. Like, but the second highlight was with the Corey Graves crash out. Dave Meltzer tweeted, as expected, it's an angle. He then deletes the tweet and then says a couple days later, well, everybody that I talked to at WWE said it wasn't an angle. So why the fuck are you waffling about this shit to begin with?
He's had a bad streak since last year. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, your credibility went out the window when you fell for a troll tweet that said Backlash was going to be in Japan this year at the Tokyo Dome. You couldn't wait to jump on that. Pause. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, this is the kind of I just love seeing it. Every time he's been proven wrong, it's absolutely hilarious. Every single time.
Vaughn, Lillian Garcia has better mic skills than Ricochet. Just don't put it out there.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like outside of Penta obviously being the highlight this week, man. You know, and the women in NXT who've been killing. I like to say Jacob, you know, preaching in terms of the best is yet to come. Like he's sending a warning out to everybody. Like that was kind of cool because Soul just came out, walked out, and was just like, "Yo, man!"
He
like
so hurt when that
he looked so hurt, and like Jacob was like, "You know what, man? If he had that Snoop Dogg speech like at the Source Awards, y'all don't love us." Yeah, y'all don't love the bloodline. Like Soul just had that promo. He cut it on Friday. Like that was something that was kind of cool. Hearing Solo, like, you know, hearing Jacob kind of preach like that. Whoever gonna get knocked out or get caught by them in backstage, watch out. Nah, LA Knight, you listen, he know better.
Shout out to Jacob with the boogie man shake.
Oh my god. All great highlights across the board from you guys, man, for sure. It's definitely great to have you guys on the show, especially you, JT, you, Dallas. Pleasure to have you guys on the show. But final thing, I'm gonna basically pass it to my tag team partner, E. We ain't gotta keep it PG, but do you have a match of the week?
I would say turn your SAP button on right now because I'm going Lucha Underground this week.
Ooh.
Yeah, escuchar, you know?
Anyway, where's the subtitle? Where's the subtitle? I don't know what he's talking about. What do you say?
So I'm going
for you, Matt. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going Penta versus Vampiro, Lucha Underground.
Oh,
yeah.
The light tubes. Yeah,
that was dope. Yeah, that was dope.
Okay,
go check that out.
Okay,
turn your SAP button on.
Yeah.
Can you tell boy what's his name? Jack, that's his name. Can you tell boy that motherfuckers knew who Penta was from Lucha Underground, not from AEW? Because that was just
all right.
That's
Vampire.
No, he's an announcer now. He's an announcer.
Take us on, man.
Hold on. GC said he asked. He said the first one or the second one.
The first one or the second one? Pick one. It doesn't really matter.
Because I know which one of them. Like one of them was like bloody as hell. Like
I think that might have been.
One.
I think that might have been the second one.
Yeah, but both matches slapped. I ain't gonna front. I thought you was gonna say the time where he basically just killed Chelsea Green, or like when EO with his ass.
Equal rights, but we don't promote that kind of violence on it.
Wait, put that comment back up. What do you say?
Oh, you want the comment back up? Hold on.
That's Vaughn being a menace again, bro. Come on.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like,
take us home.
AEW. Like,
all right. Okay. All right. We got to look ahead in terms of our upcoming episodes. Kid Toddy, we got a topic coming up in the heater.
I think Saturday night's main event is next week, but so we could talk about that. But I do want to book some potential Rumble winners for the men and for the women. I know we mentioned Charlotte and Roxanne amongst some of the possibilities for the women today, but I got a couple of different options that I'd like to do at some point, or we can save it for the 29th with the go home show.
Respect that. Respect the mask right there. Respect the mask right there. Dallas, JT, tell the people, tell the 265 people that's on the live right now where to find you guys on all socials.
I'll go first. You can find me on Twitter at King Dallas Cash, all one. Humble Roses Pod on Instagram, was on TikTok, but we don't know, might come back.
Shout out to Donald Trump.
Yeah, shout out to Culture Clash Network, and I'm at MarksWithMics, also with JT. Two other things. My match of the week. This is an old school match because I wanted to give this match out. Scotty Too Hotty versus Dean Malenko, Backlash 2000. Yes.
Okay, because I'm a big Dean Malenko fan. I love that.
I like that. I like that move. That was an underrated. That was an
crazy.
underrated match.
You can follow, of course, Marks with Mics on all social media platforms. Is how it's spelled, MarksWithMics. That's all across the board. TikTok, IG, Book of Faces, of course, Blue Sky. Wow. Wherever you put at Marks with Mics at, it will pop up. But I don't have a match of the week, but I got my greatest match of all time. I want you all to go ahead and walk with me here. I want you to go back and go look at Too Cold Scorpio going up against was he Too Cold or Flash Funk? I can't remember.
He was probably Too Cold back in the early 90s.
Yeah. Too Cold Scorpio versus Sting. Go watch that match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go watch that match.
That's your greatest match. And to piggyback with it, since he didn't give a match of the week, I'll give one on his behalf. Sabu versus Terry Funk, Born to Be Wired, barbed wire match.
Yeah, I giving great matches up in here.
I like the motivation that I gave everybody.
I love you, Grizz. I love you.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Oh,
Tyler,
man.
you have a match of the week. Go ahead. Everybody get a match of the week.
What type of ass backwards person? All right, you know what? I got it. I got a match.
I'm sharing the gimmick today. I'm sharing the gimmick.
Yeah, sharing the match. Okay. I'm sick. It's gonna be.
Jesus Christ.
I plead the fifth. I'm not going to support your ego.
Oh God!
All right, don't support my ego.
No,
Matt,
I'm not.
you got a match of the week? Go ahead, Matt. You got something?
He's too busy laughing.
Versus bad cocaine. No, I don't know.
Oh, I got one. I got one.
Now you put the battery in his back. Why'd you do that?
I got one. How about Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis? AEW All In 2018. That is shit. Because Tony Khan can eat a fucking dick. Fuck you. Fucking up for everybody. Y'all was a shit in 2018. Here we are in 2000. What was it? 24? 25?
It's 25.
It's 25, man.
Look, man, I'm drinking. You know, I can't remember the year. Shit, it's still 1998 to me. Goddamn it.
Oh my god, man! Listen, I'll tell you my match, but we run out of time, man. Shout out to Dallas Cash, shout out to JT from Marks and Mics, shout out to the brothers, man. Thank you guys for coming on the show and having a good time and chopping it up with the boys. To BK Matt, to Micah Turning Face, aka Queens Made Grips, Summer Force, aka Respect the Maz. This is your host and moderator, the final boss, aka People's Champion, aka Shop Biz Ronnie. This has been episode 165.
Thank you.
It's a Streamverse. We'll see you guys soon. Great to be back. Shout out to the 265 joining up. With that said, the broadcast has now ended. See y'all next week. Enjoy y'all week. Peace.
And not bring your kids.
Don't watch the inauguration.